Hi there, my name is Adwoa. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we're going to talk about how you find role models at work when you think that there are none around. Number one, I want you to become a student of observation. Think about all of the current highly effective, highly influential, powerful leaders that are well respected and credible in your place of work today. Process it, visualize it right this second. Then I want you to start asking yourself some questions about those people. Now that you have them in your mind, you know who you're talking about. How do they carry themselves? How do they speak? How do they influence people? When do they exert their influence? How do they exert it? And what exactly is it that they do to exert it? Visualizing their characteristics and their behaviors helps you get grounded in what defines professionalism and what defines leadership in your organization. Number two, now that you know what's considered acceptable, quote unquote, professional behavior in your place of work, now I want you to think about yourself. You know what you're good at. You know what you're comfortable doing. What characteristics and behaviors that you identify from question number one that we just talked about are things that you would feel comfortable trying on yourself. Don't just copy everything, but you can pull from and emulate the things that resonate with you and are a part of who you either currently are or who you aspire to be. Number three, don't limit yourself. The leaders that we're talking about who are credible and influential and powerful are not necessarily just leaders by title. They could be leaders by influence as well. So don't get super hung up on people with a certain title. Also think about those informal role models, those informal leaders in your organization today who just make things happen regardless of the fact that they don't have some big old fancy title. What is it about them, their characteristics, their behaviors that you might want to try on for yourself? You also don't want to limit yourself to the role models and examples that are in your current organization. I mean, I look at external role models all the time. If I go to a meeting somewhere or some conference and there's someone who I just think is a total rock star, I start looking at how he or she behaves, speaks, carries themselves, how they communicate. Number four, now that you have identified how you can find role models when they don't really seem obvious to you in the workplace or outside of the workplace, you now know some of the behaviors and characteristics that you might want to try on for yourself. That's great. Now, when you're trying on these behaviors and characteristics, you're probably going to need some help because you want to try on these things, but still make sure it feels like you. You still want it to sound like it's your voice. So that means you might need somebody to keep an eye out and give you feedback on how you're doing. And that can be a trusted confidant in the workplace. One great way to do this is perhaps when you're in a meeting, you can ask that trusted confidant to pay attention to how you behave in that meeting, how you exhibit some of the characteristics. Just give them a heads up first on the specific things you want them to look out for. So that way they know what they're looking for and they can give you specific feedback on whether or not they see it and how effective it is when you're using it. I'm so excited! You just learned 4 ways to find role models at work when it just doesn't seem obvious. And then of course you learned what to do with those behaviors and characteristics when you found them. If you're digging the content we shared today, here's what you do. Like it and share it. And if you feel like you need more of what we're doing here, head over to the site that's listed right here and sign up for our email updates. That way when I drop new videos, it goes straight into your inbox. Organizations all over the world need that unique gift that only you bring. So go out into the world today and act with conviction. Be courageous and live joyfully every single day. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I can't wait to see you again at our very next video.